What's up guys, and welcome to a new Guild Wars 2 video. So this is just a little news update for the game. It was released a couple of days ago and I just haven't got around to looking at it and being able to kind of digest it into my brain and then show you guys. So there are big changes coming to World vs World on June 6th, which will be next Tuesday, funnily enough. So only got 2 days to go until they drop this in, and I'm looking forward to that actually. I didn't realise it was actually so soon. But they're going to create a system to reward players for actively playing along the lines of similarly to reward tracks, which they've taken from PvP, if you remember when they added that, but obviously they've made some changes because it doesn't quite fit for World vs World as it would in PvP. They want to make players care about skirmishing, and they're adding in prestigious World vs World rewards such as the Wardbringer, which is the new legendary backpack, which I will get to later on, and like some bits of armor and other kind of things like tricks and traps, you know, just your standard stuff that you'd use whilst you're in World vs World. So like I said, I'm looking forward to this. I haven't really played World vs World for years. I've dipped in it every now and then, but not for much at all, and it's a real shame because it's what hooked me into when I first started playing. I'd not had anything that's kind of captured my imagination as much as World vs World has, but you know, it's good to see it finally getting the much needed love that it deserves. So the first thing on just the agenda is skirmishing. This is the first major update that they want to implement. And that includes all of the rewards. They've reworked the match UI to look a lot like the one that they've used in PvP leagues. It should be on the screen, and it looks like it functions pretty much in the same way, with a few minor changes here and there. As you participate in World vs World, you'll get pips, and assuming participation rewards also for your other tracks that you're currently getting at the moment, the little thing that comes up in the bottom right above your map. But yeah, you'll get the pips, and they work pretty much how the structured PvP ones work, but they differ in the fact that they reset weekly rather than after the whole league has gone through. So pips are earned every tick, just like participation, and they depend on a variety of factors, which can include your world's position during the skirmish, first, second or third, your World vs World rank, whether you're commanding a squad with at least 5 people in it, whether you're fighting while outnumbered, and if you've been playing on the same world for at least 3 weeks. Of course, the last one is in order to stop people from bandwagoning or stacking on winning servers, and those who server swap will not be able to get those pips if they've transferred recently, within that time frame, of course. I remember that happening a lot a few years ago when people were just kind of like, well, at least with Desolation, there was like this mass exodus a few months into the game's life, and it was horrible. We went from like fairly high tier to just like plummeting, and that's kind of about the time I stopped. But we'll see. Tournament tickets, speaking of stuff that happened years ago, yeah, they used to have tournaments. Well, there was, what, two tournaments if I remember correctly. But yeah, those tickets are now getting converted into the new currency, as far as I understand, which would be nice because I'd never spent mine. And they're now called Skirmish Claim tickets. These will allow you to purchase both exotic and ascended tier 2 World vs World weapons, armor, and more from Skirmish supervisor vendors. Again, great, more rewards, more things that you can buy, get yourself geared up. It's great that they're finally adding easier access to ascended weapons, because it actually counts in World vs World, and it's currently a lot harder and slower to gain than in PvE or PvP, and I always find the fact that you can quite easily get ascended weapons in PvP really weird as it is, because it doesn't matter. So the next thing that they've changed as well is they've added match history. This is a tab to the UI, so you can look at your statistics of your current matchup, how well your world is doing, that sort of thing. You can also see your kill death ratio and other nonsense, so it's kind of cool, I suppose. It's nice to look at your statistics after you've played like a first-person shooter or whatever. You know, it's nice to see that you've got like an 8-to-1 KDR, and you know, when you push that up to like fucking god tier, fucking 50 kills, no deaths, you know, it's pretty good. It makes you feel good, you know. So yeah, that's all good in my eyes, and of course, hopefully it will spur people on to improve their own skill, because now they can approximate their skill progress. You know, they can quite clearly see in a numerical value they are getting better. They have a higher KDR, they are outputting more heals, you know, they are doing more damage, they are mitigating more damage, etc, etc. Of course, on top of that, you can also see how well your world is doing, see where you're failing. Perhaps the long-time commanders can then kind of, you know, put their heads together and come up with better ways of commanding their own armies to their own strengths. It'd be nice if there was a way that you know, the commanders could get together and kind of plan out their strategy, because every server is different and they all work in kind of different ways. There is very much a meta that goes along with stuff, but certain commanders will command in different ways, if that makes sense. Some are more aggressive, some are more defensive, some rely on siege weapons, some rely on the silly gunboat thing that they were doing a while back, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, which is the improved LFG. So they made some changes to the LFG to encourage players to band together and fight other servers. Well, yep, it will now display 3 squads and 3 parties for you to join if you so use the LFG. It should help incentivize commanders play with the new skirmish rewards, which was earlier stated in the article for World vs World. And yeah, people should hopefully collectively work together. It is a pain in the ass to try and find, you know, a squad, because there's always tons of people around, but you can never really find other people, if that makes sense. There's nobody really tagged up, or they don't have a tag, so they can just join this one group, etc., and then off they go. I do, however, find it weird that they've decided to go with this, seeing as nobody uses the LFG at the moment, like at all. I've never seen one party at all, ever. And I also find it weird that they've only added 3 squads and 3 parties. There are 4 maps. Why not have a dedicated group to each map? You know, so you've got one for each Borderlands, that's already 3 commanders, and then you have a dedicated commander for the Eternal Battlegrounds. Shit, you could even add another one on top of that for the Edge of the Mists. So you'd have technically 5 in total. You know, it just seems really strange that they've only added 3, but I don't know, maybe there is something I'm missing here. The next lot of rewards that they're adding in is the Tier 3 armour. This is the Mistforged Triumphant Heroes armour. Apparently that is being added in addition to Tier 2 armour, which I didn't know you couldn't get. Am I wrong there? I thought it was available to players, but I'm not really sure. I mean, it's really ugly armour. Like, it looks bad, so I haven't ever seen anybody wearing it, but it just seems really odd that it's been skinned in the game and just not accessible. But yeah, this is one of their new prestigious rewards. It's going to be Ascended tier or whatever. Hopefully it doesn't look as terrible as the other armors do, because they do look bad. And apparently you don't need to craft this stuff, but you do need to be a very high rank to buy it. Again, I'm not really sure what they class as a very high rank, because there are some people that are like rank 30 or whatever, and then there's some people that are like rank 900 plus, which is crazy. And of course, you need to unlock tier 1 and 2 to gain access to tier 3, as it would be obvious. So the last thing they're adding, but definitely not the least, is the main event, and that is Warbringer. This is the new legendary back piece, and I personally quite like it. It reminds me of the Easterlings riding the elephants from Lord of the Rings, you know, the big elephant dudes with the big backpacks. That's what it kind of reminds me of, crossed with a little bit of Chartek and all that good stuff. So you can buy the first tier of this back piece at rank 50 with these skirmish reward tokens, and I imagine the rest of the collection will function just like the PvP one does, in the way that you probably have to make your own gifts and cross so many divisions within the whole skirmishing reward pip thing. But we'll see how that comes along when it's dropped in a few days. Of course, this one also comes with a glider, just like the previous two are also gliders, but sadly there are no pictures of it yet, so I wonder how that one's going to work. Maybe it's got like fold out wings and stuff, but I don't know. Should be interesting. The last thing I should probably mention is that there's going to be the next PvP League season, and it's going to be 7. Holy crap, where is the time gone? Did not realise we were on Season 7 already, and that's going to be June 13th, so not this Tuesday but the Tuesday after. Should keep all the PvP guys happy for the next couple of months. And on top of that, on June 20th they're adding automated tournaments for competitive PvP. And this will allow you to compete in 3 daily tournaments for a chance to qualify on for a monthly tournament and earn prestigious rewards. All about the prestigious awards, apparently. Structured PvP will also be updated with a custom map for 2v2 battles and a new and improved PvP lobby to hang out in. Nice. Yeah, I think that the automated tournaments are a great way to keep people interested in PvP, especially smaller scale than the leagues, because the leagues often have quite long gaps between them. Though apparently not that long, but my sense of time has been quite warped apparently. Yeah, but you know, more tournaments, more things for people to go, yeah, I'm going to get in on this one, I'm going to do it. Should help keep the population up and floating, less spiky, that sort of thing. Obviously they're doing the 3 daily matches, so I imagine that they're going to be staggered throughout the day, so that everybody from different time zones get a fair chance to compete and, you know, hang out with everybody else. The 2v2 thing, however, seems pretty interesting. That sounds like a pretty good custom arena thing to do. Maybe they'll tinker in the future with like 3v3s, or, you know, better yet, the 1v1 dueling is requested by the community since the dawn of time. But yeah, thank God for the fucking new lobby though, because the current one is really old, ugly, and just horribly boring. I feel bad for all of the players who solely PvP or watch PvPers on like Twitch or YouTube or whatever, when at least like 60% of their time is spent on that map. It is just mind-numbing. I don't know how people manage to do it. So updating the lobby is nothing but a good thing. You know, it could have a knock-on effect that draws in new players, like for example through YouTube or Twitch, tournaments, that sort of thing, you know. If people spend a lot of time there, it's, you know, what people are going to see a lot. And hopefully there'll be something there to keep people entertained. Obviously at the moment you can do a lot of build craft and theory craft and you know, test out on the golems and then the AI side of things in the current one, but there's not really much else to do aside from that. Maybe they'll do something along the lines of the Fractal update with that map. They'll add like a bunch more islands, you know, so a jumping puzzle, that sort of thing. You know, who knows where they're going for it. At the moment they haven't released any pictures, so we shall see what they come up with. But there we go. That's it. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and maybe subscribe for more. The next Guild Wars 2 video will be up very soon. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.